the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show. My name is Vinita Lambert, and I'm the host of the show. I have the honor of bringing on very special guests every single week to bring new information and resources to our community. And I really, really love that. And I thank David Goodman for creating this platform for that reason. Today we have a very special guest, Alicia Carpenter Cummings. She's with the American Red Cross. She's the account manager. She's going to be bringing us information today about sickle cell. And we're going to do a big blood drive. So we need your help, okay? Alicia, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. This is such an important topic. Can you just tell our audience, a little bit about yourself and how you got started in all this and why it's so important to you and why you're so passionate about it. And then we're going to give them some information.
Absolutely.
Where the blood drive's going to be and make sure you're there.
Absolutely. So my name is Alicia Carpenter Cummings. I'm an account manager at the American Red Cross. I work in the Biomedical Services Division. So the American Red Cross has 5 different arms that we operate with. Biomedical Services, we do the life-saving blood work. So we're coordinating blood drives, but the most important thing is that we are educating and advocating in the communities to bring awareness to the need for blood. I've been with the Red Cross just shy of a year. It's been a great opportunity so far. I've had an opportunity to network with so many different people across the state of Connecticut. I'm also the sickle cell champion for the state of Connecticut as well. I was raised in Bridgeport. I know Bridgeport. I love Bridgeport. I bleed Bridgeport. So I'm also active in many organizations in Fairfield County, so we do a lot of community outreach as well. So with that being said, it was just a perfect alignment to be with the American Red Cross because I love building relationships. I call myself a people manager, a relationship manager.
Nice.
Because first of all, you have to build that trust.
Yeah.
And as you do that, then you can make the ask and educate them about the blood donation process.
Exactly. Thank you so much. First of all, I'd love to hear that you're from Bridgeport.
Absolutely.
Guess what? I'm from Bridgeport too. You saw my big smile, right? And I'm involved in other organizations here. And I'm glad to hear that, you come back to Bridgeport and you do your volunteering and, supporting this area because when I grew up in the 60s, yes, I'm a senior. The reason I do this is because I'm passionate about information. I love meeting new people, and this topic is so important. And just for anybody that don't know anything about sickle cell, what is the most important thing that you would, share with them about the disease? And, things like, what can we do to help the disease? Is there, a cure for it? I kind of know the answers to a lot of this, but I want our audience to know, and I'm going to relate this back to the TLC story. A lot of people saw the TLC story in the greater Bridgeport area and around the country, and they saw Tion get sick and cramp up and fall to the floor and everything. So can you just tell us as much as you can about sickle cell and why is it so important to coordinate it with this blood drive in this community especially?
Absolutely. So sickle cell, it's a blood disease. That's the bottom line of it. It's painful. So many of us, fortunately and unfortunately, probably know someone who has sickle cell or has the trait. So those that have the disease, they go in for blood transfusions on a very regular basis. Patients can get up to 100 units of blood transfused in 1 year.
Okay, so you say many of us, you mean black and brown people?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to point that out.
Yes.
I knew what you meant.
And so as a woman of color, yes, definitely our community. So in our communities, because we have a lot of Caribbean descent, a lot of African descent, we can help our own communities by donating blood ourselves because we have antigens in our blood that will match the blood types of the sickle cell patients. So when they're going through their transfusions, we can match with them. And so our blood will more likely go to a sickle cell patient.
Right. And black and brown people have the highest number
Yes.
of sickle cell disease because for every 365
One in
people, I believe.
365.
Yeah, one in every 365 has the disease, but one in every, what's the number, 10 has the trait?
Has the trait.
Okay.
And so with
All
the
right.
trait, because even my son, who is of Caribbean descent as well, he has the sickle cell trait. So for a person that has the trait, as they grow up and they have relationships with other people, if that person has the trait, there's a higher likelihood that their offspring can have the disease. So it's important to educate our community to say, yes, it's painful, but guess what? With these blood transfusions, they can still have a very, very high quality of life. And that's the importance of our communities getting involved to donate blood. I know there's a lot of myths and a lot of disbeliefs around, oh, I have bad blood, no one wants my blood. So the reasons run the gamut as to why our community doesn't donate. And that's why we have to reach them and have the conversations that we're having today. So whatever questions they may have, we can address them. If there's not an answer that I may have, I'll help you find the answer so that we can make you comfortable with the process. When we do the blood drives, we typically set up in one location. It's like a pop-up shop is what I call it. It'll be a blank room. We come in, we set up. When it's over, we shut down, we move out. It's like we were never there. But it's trying to meet the communities where they are. So not always asking, Vanita, will you come all the way to Farmington to donate blood today? Instead, we'll say, you know what, we're right in your backyard.
Yep.
So can you come out in Bridgeport? We'll be there on September 18th. Come make an appointment and show up and help the community.
Okay. All right. So now that you said that, we want to mention this a few times. There is going to be a blood drive, and it's going to be at the Mortgage Arena, Total Mortgage Arena, 600 Main Street in Bridgeport on Wednesday, September 18th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's really, really, really important that you come, regardless of if it's your first time, or you're just a regular donor or whatever, and you're not sure about what your blood type is. They will help you,
Yes.
find out what your blood type is if you don't know it.
Absolutely.
And all of the blood that you donate is tested. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I have this or whatever,
Absolutely.
Negative feelings that you have about it. It's all going to be tested.
And it's free. So there's no
It's
cost to it.
Are there any incentives?
So, of course.
Usually there's incentives.
So we do have incentives for this blood drive. So as she mentioned, this is going to happen at Total Mortgage Arena, September 18th. The incentives are we have 4 tickets to the Bridgeport Islanders,
Okay.
to their October home opener. We have 4 tickets to the Monster Jam on October 25th, 2 tickets to see Maverick City Music on November 8th, and 2 tickets to El Alfa on December 7th. So there will be a raffle. So each donor will be entered into a raffle for a chance to win that. They will also get a $15 e-gift card to the merchant of your choice. So if you want to go to Starbucks or Target or Amazon, to the merchant of your choice. And then we'll also give you a $20 gift card from Amazon that you'll receive via email.
I think you're going to get them with the Amazon.
And that's going to go to every donor. So that is not a raffle. Those are to every donor. And what we like to say is every presenting donor. So if you sign up for an appointment, you come in, check in for that appointment, you go through the first step of the process, which we call health history.
Okay.
They will check your iron, your hemoglobin, your blood pressure to make sure that it's safe for you to donate that day. Everyone who gets through that part of the process will get those $15 and $20 gift cards.
That's awesome. Okay, that's wonderful. So I'll be there on September 18th. You don't have to come alone. Bring somebody with you. It is just so important that we get especially a lot of black and brown donors.
Absolutely.
Because what happens with the disease, to the best of my knowledge from my last Red Cross interview, what happens is there's blood flowing through your body all over. And this disease causes the blood to harden. Is that
Yes,
correct?
they sickle, so they
Yeah,
become
why
a
don't-
crescent shape.
Okay, so why don't you explain that?
So
I'm
they're
just
not
guessing.
Yes, so they're not whole blood cells when they sickle. They look like crescents. So when they're going through, they're bumping up against, and it's creating all this pain as they're flowing. And so what we want to do is help to flush those and replace them with whole blood cells, so
Okay.
that they will run smoother through their body.
Wow. And so there's no cure for it. The only thing we can do is flush it out. I mean, it isn't like you could take a pill for it.
There are some things that have, are in research and on the
Mm-hmm.
FDA market, and they're looking at. I'm not as sure right now if any of those have been approved,
Okay.
but blood transfusions are the number one way to help
Okay.
alleviate that pain.
All right. And it gives us, everyone that donates blood, an opportunity to save a life. Because if they don't get these transfusions, like you said, there's nothing approved on the market, nothing FDA approved, then if they don't get that transfusion, they just die, basically. Is that?
Or suffer.
Or-
So it could just be, everyone is different, just like everyone's body reacts differently.
Okay.
So, but the extenuating circumstance is death.
Suffer. Oh, yeah. If
Which
you
is
never
unfortunate.
Yeah.
And we
if
want to
you-
give life. So, and that's the thing about blood donation. We want to focus on the quality of life. So, a lot of times, yes, it is suffering, and we don't want to take away from that at all. But we want to make sure to say, we want to give the gift of life.
Exactly.
So that we can encourage donors to come in. And yes, we're going to pull on your heartstrings because we can show you mission moments every single day, all day. Anyone, you or anyone in the community can probably say, you know what, my cousin had sickle cell, or my mom had to have blood transfusions. And in our community, a lot of us don't decide to donate blood until we know someone that needed it.
Exactly.
You
That
know?
is so true. Like you said, almost all of us know someone who has the disease, and I definitely did this was years ago. I think it was like in the early 70s. My cousin had sickle cell, and we were all just kids then. We didn't know what was going on. And with him, what happened was he had a big afro. Afros was out in the 70s. Okay, now it was definitely the 70s. And his afro just kept getting thinner and thinner and thinner until he became bald, and eventually he died.
Oh, wow.
And he was a child, and it was a cousin, and we just, we didn't understand what it was or, anything about it back then. So this is, an awareness show for everyone to learn something about sickle cell. You could Google it on your phone.
Definitely.
Just in case we missed something. Share this. This is on YouTube. Share it with all of your friends and family members. Subscribe and try to take a day off work if you have to, or come down, to the arena, grab a few people and give blood. Save a life. This is your opportunity. It won't cost you anything at all.
Nope, just a
And
little bit of your time.
Just time, and they have plenty of snacks there. I've been before.
Yes.
I'm a regular donor, and so me and my sister will schedule it. We'll make a day of it. You want to drink plenty of water the day before. Make sure you have breakfast and all that stuff. You don't have to do anything different, do you, to prepare for this?
Nothing different.
Nope.
All we do is say, make sure, like you said, you hydrate.
Yep.
You eat well leading up to. So a lot of people will say, oh, I had water this morning. That's not enough. If you just had water this morning, it's probably just going to run straight through you.
Yeah.
So please start hydrating several days before. Make sure you have hearty meals, iron-rich foods leading up to it, because all of those factors matter.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that you're healthy enough. And then in addition, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds can donate. So it's not that you have to be 40, 50,
Okay.
60 years old. No.
Do you need parent consent if you're under 18?
That's a great
Okay.
question. So 16-year-olds do need parent consent. So there is a parent consent form that the parent will have to sign.
Okay.
They can go onto redcrossblood.org to retrieve that paper and then just have it printed and signed when they bring it in with them. But anyone the age of 17 and older does not need a parent consent.
Can we register online for this blood drive?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
So-
Where's that information?
So redcrossblood.org, and in the upper right corner, you'll see where you can put the zip code or a sponsor code. Type in the word Bridgeport, and then you'll see the blood drive for the stand-up Bridgeport that's going to be held at Total Mortgage Arena.
Okay, and you can do that right on the phone that I know you have in your hand right now.
Yes, so you can do
We
it right now. You
don't-
can minimize your YouTube screen and then type in redcrossblood.org so that you can schedule your appointment right now.
Register right now, and when you do register, make sure you put in a reminder so that you don't miss it. But we're going to be there all day long from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's going to be other sponsors there. And they'll be
Absolutely.
having giveaways as well. Because I know the last time I went to Bridgeport Arena, we had all different companies, small businesses set up, giving out, I don't know, T-shirts and
And just information.
yeah.
Communi-
ink pen. I'm looking for presents.
What we like to
Well,
say
yeah,
is
they give information, but we also have little gifts
Yeah.
and everything that they're giving out too. There'll be plenty of water and snacks, and it's
Absolutely.
just an opportunity to I thought my blood type was AB. You can find out your blood type.
Mhm.
I found out that my blood type is B positive.
Really?
Yes.
So what
And
gave you the impression that it was AB?
I just think I heard it a long time ago. I think, you know what? I think when I donated blood in high school, because I used to go to Bassick High School,
Okay.
and they did a blood drive way back then. And that's what I thought I was told, but it was so long ago. Years had gone by, and that's what I thought my blood type was, because that was
Okay.
the last thing I heard. But Ricardo told me that they would, let me know what my blood type was, and I am B positive. And my blood is really good. So they kept calling me back. They want me to.
Yes. Once you donate, we
Yeah,
would
once
love for you to donate again.
They want me to donate for platelets.
Yes.
And
So we do that in Farmington.
yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So locally at the mobile blood drives, we only do whole blood, which
Okay.
we take a unit of blood. So
Okay.
just one package of blood. And so that's what we do at the mobile blood drives.
Right. But then again, you have multiple ways to help people, to save lives, and it won't cost you anything. And
doesn't.
since it affects black and brown people the most, it is, imperative that we have as close a match as possible with
Absolutely.
black and brown. And then there's so many different, tell us about all the different categories of.
Oh, there's so many different
I think there's like five. Like if you're African, African American, if you're mixed.
Yes, so the race is when you come in. So
Yeah.
they'll ask you to self-disclose what your race is.
But you don't have to. It's optional if you want to.
It is, but I
Okay.
will tell you this. If you self-identify as African American at the blood drive on September 18th, your blood will be tested to see for the sickle cell trait or if you match. So
Okay.
it would see, stumbling over my words, but that's okay.
No.
They will go ahead and test you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't self-identify as African American, sometimes they won't test you for it.
Okay.
So if you know that you have African ancestry in your blood, I would kindly encourage you to choose African American on that day, because you'd rather know than not know that you can be a sickle cell warrior.
Right.
And you can help out the sickle cell community even greater with your blood donations.
And it feels so good. It really does. I mean, personally, just knowing that when I'm laying there on that table and they're draining blood out after I've eaten all their Oreos and cheese nips, that, my blood is going to save a life.
Absolutely.
It's just so rewarding. Like we used to always hear back in the day, oh, it's better to give than to receive. When you was a child, you were like, yeah, right.
Right.
That meant nothing then, but now it really does. And to find out if you have the trait, back in the day when I had my children, I have two sons. I had one in 1992 and one in 1996. Back then, the doctors did not have to test your kids.
Correct.
Can you just take us through that a little bit and tell us what that procedure is about? And then I think it was 2006. Ricardo said.
2006, yes. So
Okay.
2006 is when they started to test.
Okay.
Because I know my son was born in 2010, and it's the pediatrician that told me he had the sickle cell trait. Otherwise, I would have had no idea.
So wait a minute. Is that when you find out when you go for your 2-week checkup with your baby? So what about in the hospital? I thought they did that in the hospital.
They may, but
like
the
if you have
results-
a boy when they do the circumcision or whatever.
Yeah. The results aren't always immediately available.
Okay.
Some hospitals will do their testing on site where some don't.
Okay.
So I know in my particular situation, my son was born at St. Vincent's, and I found out at his checkup that he had the sickle cell trait.
And they have to do that by law.
Now
Is
they
that
do.
correct?
As of
Okay.
2006, they
Starting,
do.
yes, as of 2006. So if you were born before then or had children before then you would have to ask for a special test to see.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And just
all
like when
right.
you go for your regular blood work, a lot of times your doctor will say, I'm going to do a full workup, I'm going to test for diabetes and this and that. And you can say, I would like you to also test for because they'll do it at your request,
Okay.
because otherwise they won't do it.
Oh,
But if you
okay.
have a concern, we're our own best advocate.
Yeah.
Just like with anything, we have to advocate for ourselves and say, this is what I need, this is what I want to know, because
Yep.
they're supposed to be working for us.
Exactly. And they don't always know what to check for.
Correct.
You got to tell them what's wrong. Like, I am a Medicare and life insurance agent.
Okay.
So what I do is when I see my clients, I tell them, you're going to get this one annual visit. And the doctors, there's a shortage. It takes a long time to get an appointment. And when you're in there, they're looking at their laptop and going through whatever it is they're going through. And you get just a short time with them. So I tell all my clients, make a list. Start making a list 2 months before your annual appointment. If your big toe hurt, write it down. Just whatever. Because once you leave the office,
Right.
you're not going to have that opportunity.
And when you go in, you might forget.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because, I have a real cute doctor. I always get distracted. He's tall, dark, and handsome. and he dresses real nice. So, yeah, I always get distracted. What was I going to say? Like, I'm distracted. I'm distracted now. I'm just thinking about my doctor.
What I want to
So-
say is that we do have the community partners that will be there that day.
Okay.
And the community partners will also be letting the residents know, or whoever comes out to donate, about the other services that are available in the Bridgeport community.
Okay.
So health agencies, we have girls programs, we have the city of Bridgeport that's in this with us as well. So please come on out and, find out more information, because the Red Cross is one thing, but everything else that the community has to offer is something else. So come on out.
Yeah.
We can all do better together than we can do apart.
Oh, okay. So you're going to have other vendors there. I should set up my table.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You would be more than welcome to.
I'm coming to give blood, though. I don't know if
you
I
and your
should.
sister can switch out.
Exactly.
So she can
Exactly.
donate, you stay at the table, and vice versa.
Yep. And so it's a good thing that you find out, going back to when you find out about the disease 2 weeks later, because you're more coherent at that time.
Yes.
Because right after the baby, the doctor comes through, and I'll never forget
So
this.
much going
and they
on.
run off all these 8-syllable medical words. I'm like, okay, goodbye, because you just had a baby,
Mhm.
and your body just doesn't. You're not coherent
Exactly.
for a day or two. I think all you want to do is sleep and rest. So it's up to you to find out everything you can about this disease. What else do you have on your pad that you want to tell our audience about?
So I think we've touched on a lot of it. I mean, the one thing I just wanted, it's in our communities, in the diverse communities, we already touched on this a little bit, but it's important for us to build the trust. So having this one-on-one conversation with you, I would now hope that you're going to be an American Red Cross advocate to go forward and spread that message a little bit more, because we have to build that trust and awareness, because what people don't know, they just don't know.
Exactly.
But as long as we bring it to their attention, at least it plants the seed for them to say, oh, I never thought about that.
Exactly.
So we want to do that. And we're out here trying to build community relationships. The blood will come,
Yep.
but
It
they
will.
have to trust us first. So prayerfully, you all will see me as, oh, okay, that's Alicia. We can trust her. So let's talk to her and let's build a relationship, and then I'll consider it. And that's all we ask.
Yeah.
So as far as that, you did mention something about donating, and I wanted to point out that donations can happen every 56 days. So once you donate on September 18th, you are now eligible to donate in another 56 days. So every person who donates whole blood can donate up to 6 times per year. And that goes to show how much of an impact you can make.
Exactly.
With each donation, everyone can save multiple lives.
Oh, my
It's not just
goodness.
one life. It can be multiple lives that you save.
Absolutely. It's just so important that we support one another in every way that we can, just like you said, whether it's, blood drive or referrals for Medicare or life insurance.
Absolutely.
Just share this information with everyone that you can on YouTube, or with your family, and just come on down and see what else we have to offer.
Absolutely.
Because I know there's a lot of vendors in Bridgeport, and there's a lot of great information, and there's a lot of resources out there. We have radio stations for, other small businesses, and we could do all all types of things. All types of things.
And if someone's not available on September 18th, we have other blood drives that happen across the state on a daily basis. The Red Cross hosts blood drives 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, we do about 15 to 17 blood drives a day. And on Saturdays, we do multiple. Sundays, we usually do one. So you are guaranteed to find a blood donation site somewhere across the state of Connecticut 7 days a week.
And it doesn't take all day. I
No.
mean, it's very quick. You go in, you do your little interview, give out your personal information, your gender, and I'm sorry, not gender, but whatever.
Your health history is
Yes,
what we
your
call it.
health
Yes.
history. And then you eat a few snacks, you lay on the table, and it takes, what, half an hour at the most?
On a
for
good
the-
day, yes.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends. I always say it can bottleneck when people get to the bed. So the process.
Wait a minute, when you do what?
When they
Bottleneck?
get it bottlenecks. So the timing. So you got to be careful when you say 30 minutes because then
Okay.
people might get upset. So we're going to be
Oh, okay.
conservative.
I'm-
We're going to say
It
maybe
took
an
me-
hour.
Okay.
And I only say that because so with the process, first you're going to sign up for your appointment. So you're going to go to redcrossblood.org. In the upper right corner, you're going to put the word Bridgeport to see the Total Mortgage Arena. Then the next step is going to be your Rapid Pass. On the day of your appointment, you're going to get an email. You're going to complete the Rapid Pass. Once you do that, you come and check in.
Okay.
Then you'll go to health history. Then after that, you'll go to the bed, which is where they will go ahead and make the blood draw. That can happen anywhere from a couple of minutes to 20 minutes. Every person
Okay.
bleeds out differently based on hydration.
Thank you for clarifying that.
And then you recover. So you'll sit in the canteen area for about 15 minutes where you'll have your snacks. And then as long as you feel okay, you are free to go.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome.
And with all this great information, we have about 1 minute left. It goes by really fast.
It does.
So, what would you like to leave our audience with for just the last 1 minute? You know, you want to tell them about this blood drive again. And
Absolutely.
you gave out good information. If you're not available on the 18th, you can still go on the site and sign up for another date,
Absolutely.
which we do on a regular basis. I do it quarterly because I'm just so busy.
Well, that's great. So, closing, September 18th, we need you. We
Yes.
want you to come out to Total Mortgage Arena, donate blood, and help our community. The blood goes back to Farmington to be tested, and it more than likely stays within the state of Connecticut. But if there's a need outside of here, we help those too. But your blood can help here, right here in Connecticut.
So come on out and save a life. And Alicia, thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you come back again.
Thank you.
And that's the end of our show. This is David Goodman, Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.